This means she can store any spell regardless of tier or origin and later recast it, and the spell's power is determined by her stats and mana. For example, if she stored Fallen Down, one of Ainz's super tier spells, she could use it later, though its destructive power would scale down to her own magical capacity. She cannot erase or swap the stored spell, it must be cast once to reset. Her talent is what saved her life and cursed her as well. When the Elder Coffin Dragon Lord attacked her homeland, she unconsciously activated her talent to copy his wild magic spell to survive the catastrophe. However, in the process, the spell absorbed the souls of everyone around her, turning her into an undead vampire being sustained by their life essence. Now her talent is locked in an active state because the copied spell was never successfully completed. The spell is continuously channeling the life essence of the absorbed souls through her body to keep her existence intact, meaning she can never release the spell, otherwise she would die or become a mindless undead. Fluter Paradine is the Imperial Court Wizard and the most powerful magic caster of the Baharuth Empire. He's the headmaster of the Imperial Magic Academy, a high institution for learning magic based in Arwentar, the imperial capital city of the Baharuth Empire. He has been the chief magical advisor to generations of emperors for over 2 centuries, and has guided the empire through both magical and political growth, earning a near-legendary reputation as a living symbol of humanity's mastery over magic. His journey began in a village, where he learned the fundamentals of magic from a traveling magic caster, and he dedicated his life to studying and refining the mysteries of the arcane, divine, and spiritual magic, knowledge few humans could even begin to comprehend in the new world. Despite his great success, Fluter's passion turned into obsession. His dream was to reach the pinnacle of magic, beyond the limits of humanity, something only legends like the 13 Heroes had ever approached. He even attempted a longevity ritual, combining multiple magic systems to prolong his life. The ritual didn't grant him immortality, but slowed his aging drastically, allowing him to live over 200 years. And over time, Fluter became the Empire's greatest protector, defeating countless monsters, educating 6 generations of emperors, and building the Imperial Magic Academy to train new generations of magic casters, making the Baharuth Empire the most advanced human nation in the New World. His strength far surpasses the realm of heroes, making him one of humanity's most exceptional magic casters. He's capable of using 6th tier magic, a level considered the absolute peak of what any human could ever reach. And what truly set him apart was his mastery of 3 distinct magical systems: arcane, divine, and spiritual magic, a combination far beyond any magic caster. In combat, he uses spells like Fireball and Fly, both 3rd tier spells, teleportation, a 5th tier spell to teleport over a distance, and Obey, his own original spell, a modification of the 6th tier spell, Summon Undead, which allows him to command lower rank undead. Though initially the spell was unsuccessful, he's continually experimenting with it. And besides his mastery, he was born with a rare innate talent that allows him to see the magic aura around people, instantly measure individuals' magical power, and even determine what tier of magic they could use, granting him immense insight into both allies and enemies. His strength, mastery over magic, and innate talent were what earned him his legendary reputation across the continent. His magical power was said to rival or surpass Rigrit Burst Korau, and even the 6 cardinals of the slain theocracy recognized him as an exceptional magic caster. Yet despite all his accomplishments, he couldn't find one superior to himself in terms of magical power and knowledge, until he met Ainz Uul Gaun, whose mere presence shattered everything Fluter believed about magic's limits. He was completely overwhelmed, unable to measure the boundless depth of Ainz's magical aura, so he willingly submitted, seeing in Ainz the living embodiment of the magical truth he had sought all his life, and swore loyalty, offering everything he had for knowledge. Peiryuro is the lord of clans of the Quagua, a beastman race known for their ferocious nature. They live deep within the Azurlicia Mountains, which they share with the dwarves. Peiryuro stands out as both a warrior of tremendous power and a king of remarkable wisdom. Unlike many monster rulers in the New World, he combines sheer physical prowess with strategic intelligence, traits that elevated him to legendary status among his people, and renowned as the Great Unified of the Quagua race. Before his rise, the Quagua were divided into different clans, constantly fighting each other over limited resources of the Azurlicia Mountains. Through a combination of subjugation, diplomacy, and vision, he succeeded in uniting these clans under his leadership, a monumental achievement in the Quagua history. And after discovering an abandoned dwarven city, Feoberkana, an ancient capital of the Dwarf Kingdom, he transformed it into the heart of his new nation. He used captured dwarves to introduce agriculture and animal husbandry, innovations no one among the Quagua had heard of, and organized his people into military units capable of fighting the dangerous monsters of the underground. He also forged an alliance with the Frost Dragons, a species of dragons with an affinity for ice that also live deep within the Azurlicia Mountains. Though this was an alliance of subjugation rather than equality, Peiryuro's pragmatic leadership allowed his people to thrive and live peacefully. He's a level 38 monk with exceptional physical strength and spiritual combat skills. His power surpasses all other Quagua and said to be one of the most powerful individuals in the New World. As a monk and keymaster, he channels internal energy to enhance his speed, resilience, and striking power, making him capable of facing creatures as mighty as frost dragons in one-on-one combat and taking on thousands of enemies alone. His notable ability is Rallying Cry, temporarily boosts the offensive power of his allies and grants complete resistance to fear. When his military power consolidated, Peiryuro turned his attention to the dwarves, the Quagua's mortal enemies. He sought to seize their territories, annihilate them completely, and claim the mountain's rich minerals for his people. For the Quagua, minerals were the foundation of life and power. Their children had to eat minerals to grow strong, and the type and quality of mineral they ate directly determined their physical development. However, during his invasion, his rule ended when Shaltir annihilated his people, leaving only 10,000. This annihilation forced him to submit to Ainz and become another subject nation under the Sorcerer Kingdom. Peiryuro is a legendary and thoughtful ruler, qualities rarely found together among monsters. His willingness to learn from mistakes, his mercy toward his subordinates, and his dedication to ensuring the survival of his people show how great a ruler he truly is. Even in defeat, Peiryuro demonstrated dignity, choosing to serve rather than die pointlessly. Rigrit Burst Korau was one of the legendary 13 heroes who fought to save the New World from the evil deities over 2 centuries ago, and known as one of the greatest human magic casters in history. Despite her elderly appearance, she hides immense magical power and centuries of experience. She was a necromancer, whose wisdom made her a living relic of a forgotten age, respected and even feared by some of the most powerful beings alive. And after the evil deities were defeated, Rigrit chose to live in isolation, focusing on deepening her understanding of magic. And through forbidden necromantic magic, she extended her her lifespan far beyond what any human could achieve, remaining active long after her friends faded into legends. Rigrit is a necromancer who possesses deep knowledge of the undead and their weaknesses, capable of summoning and commanding up to 20 undead monsters at once, a feat that far surpasses what most magic casters in the New World could ever accomplish. And her brilliance and tactical understanding of necromancy allowed her to achieve legendary victories during her time as one of the 13 heroes. According to Fluter, the greatest magic casters of the modern era were capable of using up to 5th tier spells, which is the upper limit of spellcasting in the New World. However, Rigrit is one of the rare few capable of casting 6th tier spells. In addition to her necromantic expertise, she was also an elementalist, demonstrating mastery over elemental forces, which made her a versatile and unpredictable magic caster. She also once wielded a powerful ring gifted to her by the Platinum Dragonlord, a relic imbued with wild magic. It could help to temporarily increase the wielder's stats and abilities. She later passed this ring to Gazef Stronov, who eventually entrusted it to Climb. For over 2 centuries, Rigrit has served as the benchmark of magical greatness in the human world. She's not just a relic of history, she is history itself, the last flame of the 13 heroes and the standard by which all magic casters are measured, and standing as proof that humanity can reach near immortal greatness. The 13 heroes were legendary individuals who fought against the evil deities 200 years ago when the world was in total chaos. They were considered the pinnacle of mortal strength, surpassing the limits of their races. Most of them could cast 5th and 6th tier magic, an achievement so rare that even centuries later, only a handful of individuals have reached that level, and each hero was equipped with powerful items obtained from the 8 Greed Kings after their defeat by the Dragon Lords. These items granted them abilities far beyond normal comprehension, weapons that could slay dragons, armor that defied magic, and items capable of commanding the undead. Their team also included non-human allies of immense power, such as Platinum Dragonlord, Landfall, and powerful magic casters and warriors from various races. Together they fought and defeated threats that could devastate the entire world, ending an age of destruction and saving the New World from extinction. Basically, they are the reason the New World still exists. They united races and nations across the continent for a single cause and set the foundation for modern civilization. Their legacy even inspired the slain theocracy that seeks to create new heroes to defend humanity. Rokesh is the ruler of the Nagaraja tribes of the Abelian Hills, known as one of the strongest demi-human leaders of his generation. He's a serious and patient leader, prioritizing strategic goals over personal glory. His scales rival the hardness of dragons, granting him remarkable resistance to magic and physical attacks. He is also equipped with a large shield and enchanted plate armor, enhancing his already formidable durability. And as a warrior, Rokesh possesses immense combat ability, capable of withstanding attacks that would overwhelm ordinary demi-humans. His combination of physical resilience, magical resistance, and battlefield leadership makes him one of the toughest and most reliable leaders in the Abelian Hills. He participated in the invasion of the Robel Holy Kingdom commanded by Yaldabaoth, Demiurge in disguise, where he led the first wave of the invasion to Kalinsha, a fortress city of the Robel Holy Kingdom, and coordinated operations during the siege of Loitz, a small city of the Robel Holy Kingdom. Demiurge chose Rokesh as the primary commander and intermediary between him and the demi-human army, because he was very respected among the tribal leaders for his combination of leadership and strength. In addition, his strategic mindset and capacity to enforce Demiurge's orders ensured that the invasion of the Holy Kingdom would proceed smoothly. His role was not only to command the army, but also to act as a stabilizing presence, mediating conflicts among tribal leaders and demi-humans, making him a crucial pillar in Demiurge's plan. The 10th seed of the Black Scripture, also known as the Strongest Human, is a legendary warrior of the slain theocracy, and he's recognized as one of the most formidable members of the Black Scripture due to his immense physical strength and exceptional battle prowess. Despite his title, he displays humility in combat, treating strong opponents with respect and admiration rather than contempt. He's a master of pure physical strength, specializing in barbarian-style combat with a massive axe. Originally, he was using a club, but after joining the Black Scripture, he was given an axe and spent years mastering it. His presence radiates an overwhelming pressure so intense that it can instill fear or awe even in highly skilled adventurers. And according to Azuth Aindra, his strength surpasses most heroes, and he was considered far more powerful than his fellow members of the Black Scripture. The slain theocracy sent him alongside other Black Scripture members to recruit adamantite adventurers from Blue Roses and Red Drop during the fall of the Riestes Kingdom. And when he entered the room to meet the adventurers, the atmosphere around Blue Roses changed instantly. Even as adamantite adventurers who had faced countless life and death battles, they instinctively understood that this presence was on an entirely different level. This wasn't the strength of a renowned adventurer or hero, it was something beyond that classification. Locus herself stated that he might rival or even exceed the Scale Demon who had terrorized the Riestes Kingdom's capital during Yaldabaoth's incident. And to Blue Roses, it became very clear that the man standing before them had gone beyond human limits, a warrior whose existence alone proved that the title of hero was no longer enough to describe him. However, when the 10th seat turned his attention to Evil Eye, the hostility he radiated subtly shifted, and his sharp instincts immediately sensed the depth of her power. Unlike the others in the room, Evil Eye didn't appear insignificant to him. On the contrary, he openly stated that the Black Scripture's strength was nothing remarkable when someone on his level, or possibly even stronger, was standing right there. And his reputation as the strongest human is recognized not only within the Black Scripture, but also by other strong adventurers and magic casters, making him a standard for human strength in the New World. Saint Dorcas Vasion, also known as the Platinum Dragonlord, is one of the true Dragonlords, the most powerful and ancient beings in the New World. Long ago, he fought against the 8 Greed Kings, who were said to be players from Yggdrasil, and he was one of the few surviving true Dragonlords, while most of his kind were annihilated during the war. When the 8 Greed Kings were eventually destroyed, he imposed upon himself the role of guardian of their magical items, specifically world items, believing that these items left behind by the players were far too dangerous to fall into the wrong hands. After that, during the rise of the evil deities, he joined the 13 heroes under a fake identity. He remotely controlled an empty platinum armor suit using wild magic, and he deliberately hid the fact that he was a dragon lord. He provided the heroes with items once belonging to the 8 Greed Kings, significantly strengthening them against the evil deities. And over time, he grew genuinely attached to certain members, most notably Rigrit Bears Karau, and the leader of the 13 heroes, who was also a player. However, the Platinum Dragonlord sees players as the greatest threat to the New World, and their overwhelming power inevitably leads to destruction. While he recognizes that not all players are evil and some can even be allies, he deeply fears the consequences of their dangerous powers. Even well-intentioned players can destabilize the world simply through their use of tier magic, which bypasses the natural laws of the new world. As a Dragon Lord, he possesses dragon-exclusive classes, which are directly tied to wild magic. His wild magic can bypass most resistances, even those granted by immunities, consumes HP instead of mana, and can rival super tier spells or world items. And this demonstrates that wild magic is a different power system from tier magic. His most powerful attack is an explosion of blinding white light, affecting a large area, creating extreme heat and a massive shockwave. This attack was capable of damaging Shaltir despite her fire immunity, and he himself acknowledged that his abilities performed far better against Ainz when he fought him. And this strongly implies that the Platinum Dragon Lord possesses holy or light element type powers, making him especially effective against undead beings. Beside his magic, his sensory abilities are exceptional. He can detect super tier magic from afar and see through high-level invisibility such as perfect unknowable, and he's extremely difficult to ambush. Only other Dragon Lords in Rigrit have managed to bypass his sensory abilities. Despite his strength, the Platinum Dragon Lord is cautious and analytical. Rather than revealing his true form, he often acts through his remote-controlled armor, and during his encounter with Shaltir, he immediately recognized the gap in raw combat power and chose to retreat. The armor is remotely controlled using wild magic, has no mana pool, and can fly alongside its weapons, and each weapon can attack with high strength and precision, bypassing some forms of magical defense. Even when Ainz used his high-tier defensive spell, Body of Effulgent Barrel, the weapons were still able to affect him. The armor possesses extreme magic resistance. It fought a buffed level 70 Doomlord with ease and withstood high-tier magic such as Explode Mine, Grasp Heart, and Call Greater Thunder. While controlling the armor, the Platinum Dragon Lord can cast wild magic spells such as World Isolating Barrier, Cloak of Light, and World Teleportation. However, despite being extremely resilient, it was pierced by Shaltir's Spoot Lance, leaving permanent damage on the armor. And this confirms the armor is powerful, yet still weaker than top-tier Floor Guardians in direct combat. However, his armor is not his full strength, and that's what placed him at a disadvantage against Nazarick. Azuth Aindra is a noble of the Riestes Kingdom and the leader of the Adamantite-ranked adventurer team, Red Drop. He was born into the noble house of Aindra, a lineage renowned for its skilled adventurers. Azuth eventually left behind his life as a noble to explore the new world as an adventurer, and during his travels he discovered the Powered Suit, an item from Yggdrasil that significantly granted him strength and combat abilities far beyond a normal Adamantite-ranked adventurer. And with it, he established the adventurer team Red Drop, achieving Adamantite rank and becoming renowned for his feats in the new world. The suit is a massive full-body combat armor standing at roughly 3 meters tall. It allows the user to freely fly and fight in midair while also providing exceptional durability and overwhelming power. The suit can also cast high-tier magic, including Chain Dragon Lightning, a 7th-tier spell that fires dragon-shaped lightning, and Firestorm, a large area fire spell that damages enemies and everything within its range. In terms of overall combat power, the Powered Suit is generally estimated to be around level 60, placing it far beyond the realm of heroes in the new world. In addition, it's equipped with a heavy machine gun, another Yggdrasil item that serves as its primary weapon. This machine gun fires large-sized bullets at high speed. It easily destroyed level 35 undead such as Death Warriors and Death Knights within only a few hits. This feat is extremely significant because the Death Warrior or Death Knight is an enemy that even a hero level would struggle to defeat, yet the suit eliminated both of them effortlessly. And this clearly demonstrates that the suit's power vastly surpasses even the strongest heroes, elevating its user to a completely different level. However, despite the overwhelming power of the suit, Azuth's battle with Albedo proved that it stood no chance against a level 100 Floor Guardian. Even when fully equipped and unleashing the entirety of the suit's arsenal, including its flight, heavy weaponry, and high-tier spells, Albedo withstood his attacks with ease and Azuth was completely incapable of threatening her. The suit only allowed him to maintain distance, and ultimately Azuth was forced to retreat. The encounter left him with the clear realization that if they were to fight again, he would be killed without a doubt, proving that even a powerful Yggdrasil item was utterly ineffective against a true level 100 Floor Guardian. The Captain of the Black Scripture is the current leader and first seat of the Black Scripture, the Slain Theocracy's most elite special operations unit. He's a disciplined man who takes every mission with great responsibility, and he approaches his position as the leader of the Black Scripture extremely seriously. He's a human godkin, descended from the powerful 6 great gods who are said to be players from Yggdrasil, and possesses strength far beyond that of ordinary heroes in the new world. And in terms of combat power, he is generally estimated to be around level 60 to 70, as Shaltir measured him to be stronger than Solution Epsilon, a Pleiades battle maid estimated to be around level 57 to 60. And as the pinnacle of human potential, he stands as a living symbol of what humanity can achieve, someone who can rival powerful dragons and monsters. Because of his immense power, he was once very arrogant, but after being defeated and humiliated by the extra seat Zeshi Zetsume, he became a more humble and grounded person. The Captain of the Black Scripture is a highly aggressive fighter, specializing in overwhelming physical offense and precision strikes. His techniques focus on direct combat, with skills like Drill Staff and First Strike, dealing heavy physical damage while exploiting enemy weaknesses through increased critical hit rates and defense reduction. These abilities allow him to break through even heavily armored foes, using his spear as his primary weapon, and his combat effectiveness is further enhanced through self-buffing techniques like Strengthen Up, which significantly increases both his physical attack power and critical hit potential. Combined with his offensive skills, the Captain excels at initiating combat and maintaining pressure, making him extremely dangerous in long-term confrontations, and his power was demonstrated during the encounter with Shaltir, as he was able to withstand attacks from a level 100 Floor Guardian. His mastery of offensive techniques, defensive passives, and battlefield awareness is what allowed him to detect Shaltir's attack, and without his intervention, the Black Scripture would likely have been completely killed, not only because of his raw power, but also due to his critical role as a leader capable of turning impossible situations into situations the team could handle. His strength, willpower, and experience allow him to stand against monsters far beyond humanity's reach. Overall, the Captain of the Black Scripture represents the absolute peak of human godkin potential in the new world. Antiline Heron-Fush, better known as Zeshi Zetsume or Certain Death, is the extra seed of the Black Scripture, secretly regarded as the Theocracy's strongest warrior and one of the most powerful beings in the New World. She was entrusted with guarding the Theocracy's most sacred treasury, where the items of the 6 great gods are preserved. She also served as an enforcer within the Black Scripture, crushing arrogant or undisciplined members by overwhelming them with her sheer power. Zeshi is also a godkin, and unlike the captain of the Black Scripture, she's far stronger. This is due to her exceptional lineage. Her mother was a powerful human godkin and a former member of the Black Scripture. However, her mother was kidnapped by the Elf King and violated, resulting in Zeshi's birth. Although her mother was eventually rescued by the Black Scripture, she couldn't accept Zeshi's existence. To her mother, Zeshi was a living reminder of that trauma, and she was raised without her mother's love and warmth. Instead, she was subjected to brutal training and emotional neglect. She grew up isolated and feared rather than cherished. The only person who ever showed her genuine kindness was her aunt, whose death further hardened her heart. In terms of power, Zeshi is overwhelmingly strong, even by godkin standards. Her total level is believed to be around level 88, combining exceptional racial traits with high-tier combat and divine classes. She's a master of both martial combat and holy magic, capable of overwhelming most opponents with speed, precision, and sheer offensive power. Armed with relic-class equipment, once wielded by the 6 great gods, and possessing a unique talent that allows her to use the trump cards of her weapon's former owners. Eventually, she was granted permission to fulfill the revenge that had burned within her since childhood. She led an assault against the Elf Country and personally killed the Elf King, finally avenging her mother's suffering. Yet this act brought her no peace, only emptiness, because soon after, when she encountered Mare, she was utterly defeated by him, suffering her first true loss. She was confronted with the reality that even her godkin's strength was insignificant compared to the power of Nazareth. And this defeat marked a turning point, not only for Zeshi herself, but also for the slain Theocracy, which was forced to recognize that their greatest weapon was still powerless.